What's up, everyone? It's time for our third video in our little miniature Macallan series. We're going to be doing the very famous Macallan 25 Sherry Oak.
It's on, baby.
Obviously, a very exciting whiskey to drink. Many people who do enjoy single malts keep hearing about Macallan 25. You see it at all high-end restaurants, high-end bars. And it's usually as the top shelf scotch. You obviously have to pay quite a bit for it. Macallan does a lot of advertising, and prices on Macallan, as we've said many times before, keep going up. So this becomes harder and harder spirit to try. Without further ado, let's pour Macallan 25.
So this particular bottle, I believe we bought 3 years ago maybe 2 years ago for $625 US. Now it's maybe around $1,200.
Yes, the price on these, just the price on Macallan in general, went up recently. Continuously, probably will.
Unfortunately, it's going nuts.
Yeah, I'm looking online. You can still find it for $1,000, but that won't be for long, I don't think. It is my understanding that most shops now have to pay close to $1,000 to acquire this bottle, and it's going to sell between $1,200 and $1,300. If you go to your Bevmo and Total Wine and places like that, you know, the prices are going to go up. So obviously a very, very expensive whiskey, and one of the things we want to focus on in this review is it worth the money? I don't know. We'll see. But let's find out and see if it's as special of a whiskey as Macallan tries to make it out to be.
The color's, I'd say, a beautiful dark gold to light, rich mahogany.
Yes, I'd say it's a mahogany color. It's slightly darker than the 18. It has been aged for longer than the 18, so you would expect it to be a little darker.
It's making some just gorgeous lines on the glass.
Yeah, the line, just like Mike said, the lines on the glass are
So
very, very thick, and they're just gluing on. And that's a good sign of an aged spirit. All right, on the nose.
So immediately, compared to the 18 we just did, I can smell the age immediately. It's a lot of richer, darker flavors. I get a lot of aged leather, old bookstore, antique furniture. I get those typical dessert flavors too, like the toffee and the milk chocolate, but I get this rich age immediately. It's incredible.
Absolutely agree with what Mike said. I also get cooked dark fruits. And the reason why I say cooked fruits is it reminds me of when my mom used to make jam. You know, she puts all those strawberries and all different kinds of berries, pours all that sugar over it, and just lets it cook. And when you walk up to smell it, that richness keeps coming out, that crystallized with the sugars on top. So it's totally reminding me of when my mom used to make fruit jam. So it's rich and dark like that, and you could smell the age. If you put the 18 here and the 25 here, and you say which one is the 25, it would be very easy to know because it's so much more intense and richer and darker.
I totally second that. And I would say it's more on maybe the more tart fruits than the super sweet, like boysenberry, blackberry, very jam, lingonberry. It's more very unique exotic fruits that you don't find that commonly.
You just like the Mac 18, you get the dates and the figs and the Christmas cake. Cigar box.
Yeah, super complex.
Wood spice.
Getting a little bit of a super high quality aged honey, like very exquisite, expensive honey, and some vanilla as well. Cream.
It is creamy on the nose, like Mike said. Wow, what a treat.
Yeah, amazing treat. If you
Absolutely.
get your hands on it, beautiful.
All right, let's palate.
Yes, sir.
Oh. The first thing I want to mention when drinking this whiskey is when you're swirling in your mouth, it's such a treat. The viscosity, the creaminess, and that velvetiness, just like a good wine. You don't want to swallow it. You just want to keep swirling because it's so enjoyable just to have that on your palate. The richness. Oh, it's such a rich, delicious spice. Again, you just don't want to swallow. You just want to keep having it in your mouth, and that's a great sign for a high-quality spirit. You want that mouthfeel. It's not just about smell and taste for me. That mouthfeel on my palate is so important as well, and that's something that needs to be mentioned with the Macallan 25-year-old. So props to Macallan for putting out that quality of a product.
This is incredible. It's a super, like Narby said, coating, full, deep, lingering mouthfeel and flavors, and all the ones we mentioned on the nose, but just in almost infinite degree. It's never going away. And like kind of like Narby said, the best way to say it, it's a treat. You know, like on your birthday or something. It's wonderful. It's very special.
The one thing on the palate that I get a lot, I mean, it's very similar. The nose and the palate in terms of flavors, you do get those rich fruits, the desserts, the dates, figs, toffee, all that stuff. But another thing on the palate is it's got a pretty intense wood spice, very enjoyable wood spice. It's not too drying. Obviously, Macallan has mixed several different casks in here and made sure that it's not going to be overly woodsy on the palate. They obviously know what they're doing. But it's got a rich wood spice on the palate, along with that aged vanilla, aged honey, dark fruits, the toffee flavors, the caramels, and all that. An exquisite whiskey for sure, both on the nose and the palate.
And now I'm getting an evolution. Those darker fruits like blackberry, boysenberry, raspberry, blueberry are turning into brighter red fruits, sweeter fruits like strawberries and sweet cherries. It's unbelievable. Combined with all that aged oak, sweet wood spice, aged leather, aged honey. It's a bouquet of everything. It's amazing.
On the second sip, the finish is nice and long. It's really intense. When you initially swallow the spirit, it's really intense. And it ever so slowly releases, and as it releases its intensity, you keep getting different flavors. Just like Mike said, it keeps changing on the palate, from dark fruits to desserts to all that. Really unique whiskey, truly a treat to drink. Anything else to add, Mikey?
Just keep changing where you hold your nose. Back on the nose, because here, it's a lot fruitier, fresh fruits. When you hold it back a little bit, it's like you walk into an old bookstore, and there's just like old dusty antique furniture and books everywhere. It's amazing.
That's a good point that Mikey brought up. Usually with our very, very favorite whiskeys, you'll notice us using this particular glass. I guess it resembles more of a cognac glass than your traditional Scotch glass, but it's a miniature version of it. It's not like the big cognac glasses where it releases, where it releases the alcohol in your face immediately. This one does release the flavors more than this one, where this would be a little bit more refined, but we usually like to get the full smack in our face when we drink our favorite big whiskeys, and these glasses definitely do it for us. But I love the point that you brought up. Try it in all different ways. This nose, that nostril, a little further away, up close. Let it breathe, let it sit, and then keep going back and forth and really spend time with your whiskey.
Oh my God. Beautiful
Scoring this whiskey, again, comparing it to all the other great whiskeys we've been fortunate enough to try, I give it a solid 93 out of 100.
And exactly, I give it 93 as well, and I want an immediate sensation of it. I want to give it higher, but I have to be relative and compare it to every other whiskey we've had, but it's that good. The 93 is extremely harsh on it. It's amazing.
All right, you guys, Macallan 30 coming up next. See you soon.